So in mid-2025, you could say that I'm a little bit late to the Steam Deck OLED. After getting one and using it for quite a while, I feel like it's not for everyone. And in today's video, I wanted to go over if this is a good handheld gaming console or a handheld device for you. And before you say, well, it's an amazing device, I know it is, but I just feel like it's not for everyone. For me, it's personally more of a console than it is a handheld PC. But there are things to consider when getting it, and it's something that you want to know before you actually get one. As with everything, there are pros and cons. And in my opinion, if the pros are something that are actually for you, this could be one of the greatest gaming devices you can get on the market at the moment. But if the cons are something that are just too much for you, this could mean that this is going to collect a lot of dust. So what do I mean by is the Steam Deck OLED or the Steam Deck in general for you? I personally got it as a handheld device because of the handhelds that I had before it and the gaming that I do. For example, I have the Nintendo Switch OLED and the Asus ROG Ally. While both are amazing for what they do, I am not the biggest fan of the Nintendo Switch because of the games that you have there. I like the AAA games that are just not on the console. Games that are from Nintendo, while I do tend to like them, they are not usually my type and probably not the games that I'm gonna pick over the games that I play on my bigger console. But then I got the Asus ROG Ally, which while it is a great handheld PC, the PC part of it really made me really hate it in the long term. I wanted it for something like a travel console where I can play the games that I play on a daily basis, but on a handheld, for example on a plane. But because it's a PC, there's a lot of things that are just a lot of friction. While it is great that you can play plenty of games, once again, the PC part of it just didn't make sense. The poor battery, the no real sleep function, and playing without Wi-Fi or internet connection on a plane, a lot of times you're gonna find yourself playing games that you could just get on the Steam Deck and just enjoy a better, experience on it. And that pushed me to get this Steam Deck OLED. I wanted something that is more open than something like the Nintendo Switch, where I can play the games like the Batman Arkham Knight or The Witcher 3. Something that I can take with me on an airplane and enjoy it while flying somewhere. So on a travel experience. And I feel like this Steam Deck OLED is in a way like a perfect of the two. It has the handheld gaming console capabilities like the Nintendo Switch, which are like the amazing sleep functionality that this has. With just one button, you can just stop gaming, put it into sleep, and then with one button, once again, get right into the game you're at. There's no problems with that, no friction to start playing, something that the Asus ROG Ally was just horrible at. But also you get the AAA games and the PC gaming in a handheld console. Also, in my opinion, just on a side note, it is the most comfortable from the ones that I've tested, and overall is just the best one in terms of ergonomics. It just feels great in hand. But also, the power is pretty nice. Well, it isn't something that is gonna fight with your PS5 or Xbox Series X, but for me, for someone that wants to have a secondary console, this is a great, handheld console. But why do I not play as much as I wish to? And why the Steam Deck might not be for you? If you're expecting to play all the modern games on it, you're better off playing on a normal PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X console, or a PC if you have a strong one. And also, for most part, you cannot play many of the multiplayer games on it because of it being a Linux-based PC. But if those things are not a problem for you, maybe you're playing more single-player games, well, then this is an incredible device. Because if you're playing games that are, let's say like AAA, but from a couple of years ago, for example, like the games I mentioned before, which is like The Witcher 3, or the Red Dead Redemption, or Batman Arkham Trilogy. And by the way, if you want a great deal on Batman Arkham Trilogy, check out the link down below for instant gaming. You can get great price for the games for the Steam Deck OLED. Plenty of times I actually go there before I check the Steam store because you can find even better deals than on the Steam store itself. For example, you can get the Batman Arkham Trilogy for just a couple of dollars. Also with instant gaming, we're doing a giveaway where one of you can win a game of your choice. If you're interested in that, check out the link down below. But like I said, if you're playing those AAA games from a couple of years ago, they look fantastic and work fantastic on the Steam Deck OLED. Those games are gonna be amazing, and because they're not as demanding, it can work pretty flawlessly on here. and for many of them you can actually play in 60 frames per second. And also because it's a Steam OS system, you can actually take it on a plane and play with no problems without any internet connection, which just makes it much more enjoyable. And also because it's a Steam OS with a pretty nice battery, it is good in terms of its battery. So for that kind of gaming is incredible. That is where it shines for me. You can really use it like a Nintendo Switch, but with a different style of games. I personally feel like, for me, this is more of a supporting console, because I mostly play at my desk on my PS5. But for those that maybe have kids or have work where they have breaks here and there for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, bigger or smaller breaks, this is wonderful, especially with its sleep functionality, where you can actually start playing and then put it away and, do things that you have to do, but when you want to get back into gaming with just one push of a button, you're right where you left off. Just makes it incredible for those kind of gamers. So if you're playing indie games, single player games, where you can just pause it for a second or even for longer and then pick it up the next day where you left off without any friction, you can just start gaming again. For that, the Steam Deck OLED is an incredible piece of device. So if you're into that kind of stuff and that is what this device would bring you, I can highly recommend the Steam Deck OLED. But if you're looking for multiplayer games, it is not the best one. I would probably go for Asus ROG Ally or Nintendo Switch if those games are for you, but even better, I would go for a normal traditional console. If you're looking for Switch games, I would still go for a Nintendo Switch or the Nintendo Switch 2. But if you're looking for something that is just the best of both worlds, with some, little cons here and there, some limitations, then this is probably the most all-around best handheld you can get. For many, this could be the reason they get into gaming once again. It is just incredible like that. If you have the Steam Deck OLED or are planning to have one, please let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite game on it? I'm really interested in what you guys are playing, what is a good game for it. Maybe I'm missing something that I should add into my Steam Deck library. If you have any more questions about the Steam Deck OLED, please leave them in the comment section down below. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.